Emo Law Productions.
Hey guys, welcome back to Brass and Tacos. I am Franco here with Danny and Andy. And
What's up, y'all?
today we got our special guest, the Brute, Casey Blackrose.
Hi guys, how you doing today?
The first question, we just have an intro. I haven't edited it yet, but the name of your finishers. I always want to know like people's finishers because you're on the indie, so not a lot of people know them unless y'all talk about them. So
Yeah.
what do you call your finishers?
As for our tag team, our finisher, we have like it's like a wheelbarrow cutter. I hold the opponent up in a wheelbarrow, and Alexander Crowley does a cutter off the top rope, like a flipping cutter.
Mm-hmm.
So that one we call that Lucifer's Calling.
Oh, nice.
Oof.
Pretty good, dope name.
Yeah, and as singles wise, I use like a torture rack neck breaker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still kind of juggling between a few names, so whenever I find the right one, I'll let the world know what that is.
Cool. We'll put it up on Instagram and all that for everybody.
Yes.
Do you have any inspirations behind your character, the Casey Blackrose?
A lot of inspirations, actually. I like to look at guys like Kane, like Bray Wyatt, a little of like the darker, more mysterious guys. For some reason, growing up, Kane was a character that kind of like I connected to. How he was kind of like by himself, like especially when he took off his mask in 2003.
Mm-hmm.
He was by himself and kind of just someone you really didn't want to like mess with, like just that mystique about him. I look to guys like Kane, Bray Wyatt, Undertaker, a lot of the darker, more mysterious people.
With that dark aspect, have you always known you were going to be a follower of the Cult of Crowley, or how did that come about? How did you get into Cult of Crowley?
So me and Alexander Crowley, we started training around the same time. We both started at Hybrid maybe about a week apart. And we're two individuals that don't really we don't really put ourselves out there to like be buddy with everybody,
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of two individuals that are to ourselves, and we like to just do things our own. And we kind of clicked really working out in the gym, actually. So we started working out in a gym around 2019, before the whole COVID pandemic. And we realized that we had a lot of things in common. And a lot of the wrestling wise, we liked a lot of the same things. And he was always set on what he wanted to do for his career and his character and things. And I was still kind of juggling between a few things. And as more close we got, we kind of just like sat and talked about like, how it would be if I would be a part of the Cult of Crowley, and how we can make it bigger than what they already had it going, because they already had their vision when they came up in wrestling. And I was kind of just still floating around. So they really helped me kind of mold myself into who I am right now.
That's good. You train with Hybrid, and you have a couple coaches, Chris Marvel, Funaki, and I believe Jazz at one point, and Ronnie Mack.
Yes, they're no longer here.
Yeah, they have the dog dojo, I think, right?
Yeah.
What are some things you learned from Marvel that you can use inside and outside of the ring?
Man, the one thing Marvel is big on is patience and taking everything slow. He always likes to say, like, if you feel like you're going too slow in the ring, you're not going slow enough. And that has helped me so much, because when I first started, I was so quick to like go to the next spot, go to the next move, because I was new and green and still learning the way things go. And as time goes on, you kind of realize like when you're in there, you have everything in your hands. You can control the time, you can control the people around you, and that's always something that's registered with me. Because growing up, I used to watch Marvel around the Texas independent scene, and he was somebody who I enjoyed watching as a kid. So now being able to learn from him and having to pick his brain every single night has helped me so much. I wouldn't be where I'm at right now without his guidance and his help, honestly.
How long have you been into the Texas independent scene?
Oh man, and I used to go to shows when I was like 7, 8 years old.
That's awesome.
So growing up, I would see guys like Chris Marvel, Don Juan, Keith Lee, Scott Summers, just a lot of like Texas guys.
Hmm.
Damn.
And now kind of like being able to roll around with them, train with them, pick their brains. It's the kid in me is still like, damn, am I really doing this? But like the wrestler in me is like, get as much knowledge as you can.
That's good. It's weird because you never hear anybody really talk about the independent scene growing up. You hear them, I got into WWE or WCW or TNA even, and I didn't know about the independent scene until high school or college and all that. And so they want to.
Yeah, like growing up, I was always WWE and TNA guy, but my grandpa, he would so he's real, well, not real close, but he went to school with the promoter of RCW. So when we were younger, I would like tag along with them to shows, and I didn't know what they were at the time. Like I was like, this ain't WWE. But over time, as you go to shows, you get to learn these people, like who they are, and wrestling is so much bigger outside of the main companies, especially in Texas.
Yeah.
Back then, Texas wrestling was hot, and right now, I think honestly, it's as hot as it's ever been. There's so many names and talent in Texas or coming out of Texas. It's just so unbelievable right now.
Hmm.
And
That's
sorry, go ahead.
no, you go ahead. No, I'm
I'm
just
sorry.
saying it's pretty cool that like we could see like how you mentioned like the indie scene right now is like the hottest thing that we've ever seen in a very long time. To name drop like a couple of people, like we have Chandler Hopkins, we have Sammy Guevara, we have who else? We have I know you guys have actually gotten mentioned in one of
Mysterious
our
Q.
yeah, Mysterious Q. He actually got mentioned by Richie on one of our old podcasts that we are looking back on. I think what 2019.
Yeah, I believe I was actually there at that show. I believe you did it at Galactic Pro at the Well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually there. So it's
Yeah.
kind of a little full circle moment knowing that he name dropped me, and that was just pretty cool to me.
Yeah, and you're actually gonna be facing him soon with your partner Alexander Crowley in the tournament on 25th PPW. This is pre-recorded, but you already have the match. And then I think the night before, September 24th, you'll be facing Royal Taxation and Khan. What is the tag team name?
Soldiers of Salvagery.
Yeah, that one. How does that feel? Like I feel like Richie probably was like a mentor to you at one point. So how does it feel you're about to face him?
Yeah, that's pretty insane to me because I started training in 2019, and Richie was probably one of the first guys to take me under his wing when I got into the school, and we clicked. We're kind of two dudes who just love to fight. Like we like to go in the ring. We like to leave everything we have in the ring. We're not the biggest guys. We're not the strongest guys. But by the end of that match, you're going to feel why we're in that ring. You're going to understand why we're in there. And it's crazy because, like, Richie is someone who I've always wanted to wrestle. And now they're going to be seeing so much of the Cult of Crowley that they're going to get tired of us really soon. And I know he has a big singles match coming up with Alexander Crowley. And I mean, you already know how I feel about that.
Mm-hmm. You had a question that you were asked earlier?
No, yeah, we were talking about the big leagues, the main shows that are on TV, like NXT and WWE. You were just on WWE show facing off against Keith Lee. How does it feel to have that many eyes on you?
Yeah, it's been about 3 weeks, and it probably still hasn't hit me as it should. Because like growing up, I would go to shows Keith Lee was wrestling on, and Keith Lee was such a big name in Texas. Fast forward 10 years later, and I'm standing across him in a WWE ring. It's just like when I started wrestling, I didn't think I'd be there, let alone 8 months into my wrestling career. And just being across from him, he helped me a lot. Like he kind of walked me, so to say, like into like the whole aspect of WWE, like the lights, the cameras, the crowd, just it's just insane because I mean I wasn't in the ring for that long. I don't know if y'all saw it, but just being in there, it's a crazy experience.
We didn't get to see the full video. Was it on main event or was it a dark match?
It was right before main event, so it was a dark match.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we weren't there live, unfortunately. If we had known, we would probably buy tickets tonight.
Or no.
I didn't even know it was gonna happen. It was just one of those right place at the right time things.
It's nice to at least see two Texas boys in the ring, like knowing, like, damn, like I was excited when I saw it or when we heard the news. And I was like, holy shit, like two Texas
Yeah,
boys.
it's crazy because like I'm born and raised here in San Antonio, Texas, and I believe Keith Lee is from
Dallas?
Wichita,
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah. So when I got on social media after, like, my phone was nonstop vibrating for like a full 24 hours. A lot of people just talking about how two Texas guys in the ring together, and it's just unbelievable. It's something that's gonna be with me for the rest of my life.
I know you talk about training and everything. We talked about it a little bit. You train Monday through Thursday, correct?
Yes, Monday to Thursday from 7 to 10 p.m.
How do you keep yourself level-headed from like almost training every day and then only having like 3 days to yourself, and then it seems like it's a lot. So explain, how you
Yeah, honestly, it's no days to myself because we train Monday through Thursday 7 to 10, and outside of wrestling for my job, I work overnights from 12 to 10.
Oh damn.
So it's a consistent it's a head battle, But wrestling it's what I want to do with my life and in my career. So I do as much as I can to get by. Like I'm in the ring 3 days a week. I'm doing cardio. I'm helping out the younger guys. I'm helping out the people who are already wrestling, whether it's figuring out a spot or a move. And I guess, I mean, I rarely get time to myself, but when I do, I get to sit back and kind of enjoy it and relax. Because lately, like, the Cult of Crowley, like, we've been taking bookings all over Texas right now. And the little bit of time I have to myself, I mean, I'm still thinking wrestling, but it feels good to just sit back and relax. And I mean, I don't get to do it often, but when I do, it's worth it, knowing everything that I've done so far.
Just a couple weeks ago, I think about 2 weeks ago, ending of August, you actually made your, I think, first out-of-state appearance with Oklahoma at Phoenix International.
Yes.
I heard about that match. How did it feel to step across the ring from Alexander Crowley, your partner, actually facing him in a triple threat against Brandon Weiss?
Yes. So it was me versus Alexander Crowley versus Brandon Weiss. And to be honest with you, that's something I've been looking forward to for a long time. Because to me, like, he's my brother. He's my best friend. He's my tag team partner. And no one's going to beat you up more than your brother,
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking forward to him beating me up as well as me, giving it back to him. There were points in times where, we got to beat up Brandon Weiss because it's Brandon Weiss. Who doesn't want to beat him up? But when it came down to me and him, it was something that it just felt right, you know, like whether we're together, whether we're fighting across each other, like that's what we're here for, you know.
Hmm.
He pushes me to be my best, just like I hope I push him to be his best. And that match, I mean, I don't like to make myself have a bigger head, but that was probably one of my better matches.
I hope there's some footage circulating out there. I've been trying to look, but I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, we've been working on trying to get some. I think there'll be some coming out, but that won't be the last time, you know, we're across each other.
Yeah.
Speaking of big matches and who you're facing across, I'm wearing a Bullet Club shirt right now. I don't know if you find it a big deal or not, but you had a match with Chase Owens at one point. How did it feel to be in the ring with a Bullet Club member?
Yeah, that was pretty intense and insane for me because, you know, they have the whole Japanese strong style thing. And that was actually my second singles match. That was my first singles match outside of hybrid. Well, not outside of hybrid, but like an outside talent. So for me, having to work Chase Owens as my first big singles match was pretty insane. And there's many reasons why that match is probably one of my favorite matches outside of wrestling. But yeah, it's crazy. Like one, no one's probably ever hit me as hard as Chase Owens. Two, you know, he's part of one of the biggest groups in wrestling, the Bullet Club. I mean, everyone knows them, everyone talks about them, and just having to have that match underneath my belt has made me so much better. It's, you know, it helped me calm a lot of nerves. It helped me kind of realize like I'm meant to be in wrestling, you know? Because not everybody just gets to wrestle a Bullet Club member for their first match, like their first big singles match, especially for the Texas Heavyweight Championship. So having that match really kind of pushed me to my limits. I mean, not fully to my limits, but it kind of showed me how far I can really go.
It's going to break boundaries and reach new heights.
Yeah, we really push each other. I mean, I know he hasn't forgot about me, and I'm pretty sure he wants another crack. So, you know, I'm always ready.
So we mentioned Richie a lot during this. I know Richie has been some kind of a mentor to like the hybrid kids. So what is something that he has taught you to help your career?
Man, he's taught me so much. One of the biggest things is just let me think. Because like since day one, he took me underneath his wing, and he's kind of helped me a lot in so many ways. But just honestly, just to go out there and have fun. Like, yeah, go out there and, you know, show who you are and what you do, but you know, you're here to have fun. You're here to this is your lifestyle, this is your career. And, you know, if you're not having fun doing it, then there's really no point to do it. And I'm very excited to see him in the ring. Him, Brandon Weiss, you got Khan and you got Moses. Because I still got a bone to pick with Khan. I don't know if you guys know this, but I actually wrestled him about actually on my birthday in June.
Yeah, we're there
And
live. Me and Andy.
yeah. I remember the whole birthday chants. Yeah, I haven't forgot about a lot of things he's done to me. So, Branded Outlaw Wrestling, he has a thing or two coming to him. So I'm excited about that.
You have the chance on that same weekend, the 24th, facing those two tag teams, and 25th in the tournament. You have the opportunity to walk away with two tag title belts that weekend. Um, you know, this is before everything's happening. Obviously, it'll air afterwards. But how's it feel to have some gold coming your way?
That feels really good. Um, Me and Alexander Crowley, we've worked hard. You know, we push each other. And honestly, personally, there's not like a lot of legit tag teams in Texas. And I feel the Cult of Crowley is making their way through the ranks around Texas because you see a lot of these promotions, and you see Alexander Crowley, or you see me, and that kind of just like, how do you say it? Like, it kind of puts more eyes on us, and having the chance for our first tag team championships for Branded Outlaw Wrestling and for PPW. I mean, this is why we became a tag team, you know, to be the best, to be the best, to win gold, and just to travel the world and be the best tag team that we can be.
Y'all two are currently one of my favorite tag teams. I don't know about them. But one of my favorite tag teams, and like
I second.
wherever y'all go, I actually want to see how far y'all make it, how far everything. I do want to see y'all going to the big leagues, WWE, AEW, NJPW, NWA, Impact. But I want to see y'all like get there together. And obviously in WWE they break the tag team. I don't want to see y'all having any breakups until y'all get to the big leagues and see how that's gonna work out.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of tag teams who like they just tag, you know. They're not like outside of wrestling, they're not really a unit. But me, Alexander Crowley, and Lilith, outside of wrestling, we became a family. They're my two best friends in the world. They've helped me more than honestly a lot of people, like a lot of family members. They're there for me through the highs, they're there for me through the lows. And just having them as someone who I can lean on, someone I can talk to and trust, you know, that means more to me than anything in the world. Because you don't come into wrestling thinking like, oh, you know, you're gonna like meet somebody or meet these people who are gonna become your best friends. Because wrestling's a cutthroat business, and it's a very selfish business. But having these two, you know, beside me has made my life in wrestling so much more enjoyable, so much more easier. I mean, I love those two to death.
And
So no, you know, to follow up your question, no breakups soon.
stay together
Oh,
forever.
thank God. Stay forever.
We're talking about Richie and how he name dropped you and Alexander Crowley in an interview back a couple years ago. Who are some people we should be looking out on from that are training right now currently with Hybrid?
Man, we got a lot of talent coming out to school. I tell you that. For the people who are already wrestling, you know, you have Brandon Weiss, you have Drew Hu, you have David Kidd, you have the Bastard Jesse James, you got Trinidad. I don't know if you guys know who Trinidad is, but you're gonna see a lot of him soon. But as far as the people who are just coming up, two individuals in particular who actually just had their first match outside of hybrid. One, Diego Rene, and one, Johnny Rocket. So I've had the pleasure of helping these two guys grow and kind of mentoring them into who they are now. And to see that growth and to see just how passionate they are for wrestling, it excites me because one, I get to wrestle one of these guys next week. So I get to show him why, you know, like why I am who I am. And I'm ready just to push these guys to their limits just to see how far they push back. But man, there's so much talent here at Hybrid, it's insane. Like if you look all over Texas independent scene, you at least have 1 to 2 people from Hybrid on every show.
Mm-hmm.
You have Richie Garcia, Brandon Weiss, you have Matty Rankowski, who is a hybrid person, Drew Hu, David Kidd, you got the Cult of Crowley, just everywhere. And just being in that house of all those names, it's pretty damn awesome. So I only hope to make our coaches proud and to bring more light on the school because I take pride in being a hybrid guy. And it just, it feels great knowing that we can give back and help the people coming up break into the business. Because by this time next year, I guarantee you're going to have 3 to 5 more people coming out of hybrid killing the wrestling scene.
Can't wait for that. Hybrid's like one of my favorite schools because, like you said, just so much talent coming out of it. And then Marvel's such a stand-up guy, and all the other trainers and everything.
Yeah, you got Coach Marvel, you got Sho Funaki, and our cardio and conditioning coach Mark Aguilar. That man doesn't get talked about a lot. Coach Aguilar, or Coach Mark, I call him, he's pushed me more than anyone has pushed me in this school. The what he does to us on cardio, it's not fun. It's not nice. But I guarantee you, at the end of training, you're sitting there like, man, I'm thankful that he pushed me to do this because I feel so much better than I did when I got here. And just that's the thing about hybrid. We push each other to be the best, even on days. Because don't get me wrong. There's days you come in here and you're like, man, like, oh, I don't feel it today. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. But because we have about 30 students. So having that energy and just those people around you pushing you, it makes you like kind of wake up. Like, okay, like it's time to get going. It's, I'm here for a reason. So just having that kind of like family aspect really pushes me to another level. Because even at home in my family, I'm the youngest of 4 brothers. I push to be the best. So over here at Hybrid, we call each other brothers and sisters. But, if I got to punch you in the face to be the best, I'm going to punch you in the face and smile at you.
Keeping it real.
Do you got any more questions, Andy?
No. I'm good.
No?
I'm good over here.
All right. So usually towards the ending of our podcast, I usually like to end off with like a really good question. What I usually ask is, what is the legacy you want to leave behind in and outside of wrestling?
It's a good question. Now I got to get my thinking cap on.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm a quick thinker. I like to think on the fly. So outside of wrestling, honestly, my goals. So when I was growing up watching wrestling, I had a lot of like, I don't want to say like mental health issues, but like just a lot of like things that kind of had me down, And wrestling was the one thing that I can go to that kind of took me away from reality and kind of helped me through those moments. So that's something that I would love to do for the younger, the younger generations is to be someone they can look to say like, man, if he can do it, I can do it. Because growing up, like guys like Eddie Guerrero and Shawn Michaels and Edge, Chris Jericho were guys I look up to, and it's no secret. I'm very open outside of wrestling with my personal life. So when I was 9, I lost my dad, and about 5 months ago, I lost my brother. And wrestling has been the only thing that kind of helps me get by. So I would love to be an advocate of some sort of like mental health thing, And I mean, one day I honestly would love to write a book about what I've been through and how I coped with it and how I broke through. Inside of wrestling, if you're not here to be the best, then why are you here? I want to be the best ever. I want to be the best outside of San Antonio. Better than Shawn Michaels because he's probably the best out of San Antonio. I'm Hispanic, so I want to be known as one of the best, Latino wrestlers ever. Hey, look, Drew, who's pulling up next to me. Honestly, I just want to just be the best that I can be and be the best wrestler, be the best. I want to win gold everywhere I go and just kind of have my name up there with the greats, And I feel in the path I'm on, wrestling is in my hands. Like, only I control the keys to my future. And within my first 8 months of wrestling, I'd say I've done pretty good for myself. So if I keep at this rate 10 years from now, who knows? The sky's the limit. I could probably be considered as one of the best, 10, 15, 20 years from now. And honestly, I told Coach Marvel this. I would love to give back and actually run hybrid, whenever my time comes or his time comes. Not like time like that, but
Mhm.
to leave wrestling. Because, I mean, if it wasn't for Coach Marvel, Coach Funaki, and Coach Aguilar, like, I'd still be that fat 250-pound kid just watching wrestling. So I would love to just give back and kind of be a trainer of some sorts to help another generation of wrestling keep wrestling alive, because wrestling is what brought us four here together right now. Wrestling is what, it's kind of the reason why we do a lot of things that we do. And that's just, I don't know, it's a good question. You made me think. So yeah, kind of just things like that.
Damn, you literally almost made me cry. But I'm a very emotional person, so I show it majority of the time. And honestly, like your story is really really well, and I love it. And thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Before we ended, this podcast again is going up to 7/27. Do you have any bookings for the 30th, October 1st, October 2nd for the weekend?
For that weekend, no, I actually don't. That I think I gotta check my list of bookings because it's kind of been crazy. But for the first and second, I don't think I do.
Okay. If you do, then we'll end up posting it later on Instagram. And if you want to plug in your socials so people can follow you.
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, even Facebook at Casey Black Rose. Yeah, I mean Instagram and Facebook, I'm kind of on more. Twitter is a little, it's a
Same.
little rough sometimes.
Yeah.
For some reason,
Yeah,
like I don't get notifications on Twitter, so when I get on Twitter, I have like 25 things, and I'm like, oh damn, like I didn't even know all these people tagged me and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Instagram and Facebook is probably what I'm on more. I don't really like to add fans on my personal account on Facebook, but I have my Black Rose account. But yeah, I like to keep my fans updated with bookings and what I'm doing next, and you get to see a little bit of who I am outside of the character.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, follow me at Casey Black Rose, and you're gonna be seeing a lot of me soon, everywhere. Get ready for that. The Cult
Can't
of
wait.
Crowley is gonna tear it up where we go. And by this time next year, who knows? We'll probably hold all the tag team gold here in Texas.
Excited.
So,
Good luck
if any legit tag teams out there, want a taste of us to see what we're about, we're always ready to fight.
Call never went out.
Honestly,
Good luck with the tournament and with that triple threat match. We're hoping you win both. We love road taxation, but I mean, Cult of Crowley.
boo.
But thanks again for being on, and we'll catch y'all guys later.
All right, guys, you have a good one. Thank you.